All right, so look, bro, I'm gonna teach you how to make a competent build for OWC on Fight Night because I'm not gonna lie, I see a lot of Kukli builds, right? I mean, I have different builds that all serve their own purpose. Like right now, I have a few OWC builds that are just different heights, max height, intermediate height, which is probably like 6 foot, 6'1", and then shorter fighters, which is probably like 5'11" and below. For because I'll fight at middleweight, as you should. Everybody should fight at middleweight. There's no reason why you shouldn't be fighting middleweight on this game. It doesn't make sense because middleweight is literally the only weight class where you can move, box, and still have power and all that. It's the best weight class, point blank, period. The best heights, the best everything. So anyways, yeah, it's important to know what you're making, why you're making it, you know what I mean? Like the point of all of it. So if you're gonna make a dude that is like, to be honest, I would say for middleweight, the best height and weight like I'll take this. My David Benavidez build is probably one of my favorite ones, either this or Bibble, right? He's 6'2", 160, has high max reach. But Bibble, to be honest, I love the way that this dude fights, and a lot of it has to do with punch styles, and there's a lot of factors that go into it, believe it or not, right? So 6'1", max weight 160, because he's a light heavyweight for real, but I mean, and an 80-inch reach. And this is where honestly, this is where a lot of the magic happens, where right here, where the game, where the fighter interacts with the game the way you want him to, right? So believe it or not, boxer puncher is the most difficult, but it's the most rewarding to master because your hooks are cheap, your jab is fairly cheap, the uppercuts are expensive, but to be honest, if you time your uppercuts correctly, like if you only use uppercuts for like counters or as part of combinations, then you'll never have an issue when it comes to getting knockouts with uppercuts. It just takes some time, but your hooks are really cheap, and to be honest, your hooks are probably like some of the most important punches in this game, because that's what you want to end your combinations with. That's how you intercept people coming forward trying to rush you down. Good counters, counter straight punches really well, hooks and uppercuts, but I like hooks a little better because I get honestly I get more of an effect out of hooks using my hooks. Boxer puncher really good. Inside fighter, I think it's for the cheaper uppercuts. Like your uppercuts are cheaper, and I think their punches to the body are cheaper. And I want to say her chin is pretty cheap as well. Chin is very cheap for a boxer puncher as well. Fairly cheap. Chin, blocking, the only, head movement is expensive, but you really never want to care to upgrade it if you're fighting, because you use your feet. As a boxer puncher, you box with your feet anyway, so whatever. Outside fighter, this is where the straight spammers come in. Jabbing straight, body straight, hella cheap. Usually chin is probably the most expensive for them. Conventional, I don't know much about this style. Brawler is cheesy. If someone runs you down with brawler cheese and you're not prepared to deal with those hooks, I actually uploaded a fight where I was fighting a brawler who was cheesing like 2 days ago, and these dudes just throw a lot of punches, a lot of hooks. They rush you. Hooks are dumb cheap. Like, you can get your hooks can be maxed out like super quick, like a few fights. And then, yeah, you got your counter puncher, which is where the uppercuts are hella cheap for counter punchers, because sidestep uppercut is like their nastiest work. And then, yeah, we're back to boxer puncher. I think, so me personally, I believe boxer puncher is the best because you're just the most well-rounded. Chin is pretty cheap. And the jab is also one of those things, because this game is based in physics, which is what makes it so good. It's based in physics, so you don't have to worry about, your jab doesn't have to be super high rated, because when you jab at the correct timing, it'll have power on it anyways. You know what I mean? If you catch them coming forward and things like that, it'll have power on it. And if you get the right angle, you'll be able to shoot the jab through their guard. The style doesn't really matter as much, like as far as where you keep your hands. That doesn't really matter that much. textbook style is the best block style, period. Because Philly shell is Swiss cheese. I literally moved this guard around so much, it's ridiculous. And then cross, why would you ever? Like, why would you ever? Speed is the best punch style because it's the least telegraphed to me. Like it's like the jab in this stance is the best. Like this stance, I don't like how the body shots leave you exposed, because man, if you shoot one of these short, you're eating a straight right hand every time. Pacquiao is nasty as work to me. It's good for straight spammers. A lot of straight spammers use Pacquiao. Tyson, I've kind of seen this a little bit, but not much. Ali is nasty because that jab sucks. Like, if you miss that jab, your chin is just hanging in the air. Like, you're cooked. I'm not gonna lie. Jones Jr., never in your life. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. Like, that shit has so much recovery. Don't know much about Klitschko. Don't know much about Foreman. Like, I know, yeah, I was about to say the uppercut with Foreman's nasty work. Frazier, his left hook has some power on it. Yep. I've never seen these online like that. David Hay. Oh, I've seen that before. It's disgusting. And then power. I don't like it because he leaves his hands down a lot. Speed is honestly the best one in my opinion. I'm not gonna lie. So, what's the upgrade when you first make a build on OWC? I recommend, because the builds are different depending on like we're here, but I'm just saying, like, the builds are different. Like, let me see. Let me go to my actual build. I think I'm using Anthony Sims Jr. right now. Based on what you build, though, I swear the attributes, like the stars and stuff, they change a little bit. Yeah. Oh no, they don't. Okay. Anyways, so the first thing I upgrade every time I make a build is chin. Every time I get that chin up, because I don't need to have a lot of power off the rip to just to box. I can box perfectly fine. It's just the fact that you deal with higher overalls when you first start. Chances are they're not gonna just match you up off the rip. You're gonna be dealing with higher overalls usually. So get your chin in your heart at least to the second star before you start up in your power. I'll probably get the hooks matched up at the first star because it's cheap. But like, I'll fight another fight after this and get the hooks to the first star. But the chin and the heart is the most important. That's the key to victory, because, and I mean, yeah, it's a little expensive, but honestly, it's so worth the investment. It's so worth the investment. Like, stack up to at least 13 to 1500 and just get your stuff to the second star, to get at least to Lionheart and you grant your chin. Because when I tell you, it just makes it easier for you to fight your fight. Because there will be times where punches will stray, you may get caught, especially if you didn't upgrade your blocking first, which is, you know, get your stuff to the first star at least if it's not already, no matter what build you are. And then once you get this like to like the second joint, get your blocking up. Blocking is the next one. I don't even touch head movement, no matter, like, through the entire lifetime of my build. I don't touch combinations because I don't fight by throwing like a bunch of punches at one time. I don't fight like that. It's up to you. It depends. I usually do this last because it's just like whatever. I'm just got a bunch of XP left over. But blocking, chin, and heart, first three, go immediately. Lock in on those, because I'm telling you, it'll save you from taking cheap losses from spammers and stuff. It gives you a little extra time to figure some of these styles out. Like, if I didn't have, mind you, I fought that dude who was rushing me with this much chin and like no heart, and I was just moving my head. I'm getting underneath punches from in close. Like, you don't have to have high head movement. You just have to manage your stamina to keep all of these stats at their peak potential. You know what I mean? So anyways, blocking, chin, and heart, most important off the rip. Now, here's what I will say. The first thing you need to upgrade is the punch that out of the punches. First, get the jab. All you need is the jab to 1 star, you're fine. After that, upgrade the punch that you finish your combinations with, the punch that you use to counter most styles with. That's the punch you upgrade first, and that will be cheap. It depends, as long as you pick the right style. So for me, boxer puncher, hooks are cheap. 900 to get to this star, that's nothing. That's like 2-3 fights, just boxing, whatever, not really going for knockouts. You win the fight, you get your 10 rounds in, you get your XP. long as they don't cut it off. And then you go ahead and go for left hook. You know, for me, I finish combinations with the left hook sometimes, or you know, sometimes I counter certain things with the left hook. So you want to make sure that that counter punch, that your go-to counter punch, is at its peak potential, at like at least to the next star above where it is. And then you go for the opposite, because you're gonna be fighting southpaw sometimes. People will switch southpaw on you to try to cheese you. It happens. You know what I mean? I really never touched the uppercut ever. I mean, look how expensive it is. You spending 1247 on this. You could be spending that much cheese to get your chin and heart locked in, or you know what I mean, you're something else locked in. Second thing you should do every time, get that straight body straight locked in. The jab is expensive. The straight to the body for boxer puncher is very cheap. This is the reason why I recommend, because look, 1500, you're all the way to the middle of it. You're at critical stun for your straight to the body. So if you're fighting a spammer and you dodged their punch, boom, straight to the body. I also recommend countering with left uppercuts to the body on straights, but you don't have to upgrade it for it to be valid. I'm not gonna lie, you really don't. You know what I mean? So get that straight to the body locked in. No, universally. I don't know how expensive it is for every build, but for boxer puncher, it's very, very cheap. So I definitely recommend. But man, jab to move 3 spots is 1,000. To move over here is 3,000. It's expensive for the jab and the straight. You know what I mean? It's expensive. So because we're not, you know what I mean? The straight is a punch I also do not actually throw too many straights to the face that much, because it's so easily counterable. I don't recommend incorporating that into your game plan unless you're using it as like a lead punch. But I rarely ever go combinations with a straight up top, because it's just so hard to do. It's so easy to counter. Like that's that punch, fighting those spammers, that punch gets them in trouble every time. Like if you fight someone with good timing, good distance, which, you know, it doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a blue moon, you'll get some dubs off the straight spam. But you really don't need to go higher than this for most times, because if it's using a counter situation, or if somebody whiffs a punch and you just want to punch them real quick, then getting it here will be perfectly fine enough to have enough speed and accuracy to tag them. You know what I mean? But yeah, get your the punches that you finish your combinations with, lock that in first. Then, or locked in the chin and the heart first in the blocking. Then upgrade the punch you finish your combination with, and then work on, I'll say, the jab after that, or excuse me, punch you finish your combination with, then the opposite punch for the opposite stance, and then get the jab. Then from there, just build on the punches you finish your combinations with / counter styles with. That's what you build on after that. So yeah, anyways, next, these are pretty important for just overall like build health and usefulness. So I have this build, or this is literally just from, you can earn boosts from playing legacy mode. I recommend playing legacy mode in your off time if you're not online. I recommend it because they give you good rewards for your online character. So strength here got a boost. I got a speed boost for bronze. They got rid of all my boosts. I had more boosts, but you know, they did me dirty. Endurance boost, I recommend all of these things, conditioning and stuff like that, because it makes it to where your stamina, you don't lose as much stamina just for trying to box a certain way. Toughness, I got gold toughness boost, that's good. But these stats are responsible for just how your character's survivability, durability, all that type of stuff is, and you actually want these to be really high. I'm not sure how these increase otherwise outside of boosts, because you can't increase them traditional ways, as far as I know. You know what I mean? You got to use boosts from what I've seen. So and then cuts and swelling is always up. Don't recommend buying boosts, that's ridiculous. Just unlock them. It shows you how to unlock them. Just unlock them. Anyways, yeah, so that's honestly the most optimal way. This is the most optimal build if you're going online and you're trying to not be something that's easily counterable or something that is exploit based, because if somebody finds if you run into someone that is the kryptonite to your exploit, you're cooked. I'm not gonna lie, you're cooked. Boxer puncher, you can fight pretty much anything you see online. Other boxer puncher players are usually pretty good, so if you run into one, just be prepared for a really good fight. But you know, that's what we want at the end of the day, right? Is a really good fight. So with that being said, I hope you found this video useful, and in your journey as a player on Fight Night, whether you're new or you know you just been experimenting with builds and you're kind of curious on how maybe I should try a comp build. Let me see what's out there. This is the most comp build in my opinion. I'll catch you on the next video. Probably upload another fade, but with that being said, I'm gone.